missile production sites. Iran fired more missiles, and one got through the Iron Dome.
The missile hit this morning in the town of Beersheba in southern Israel. It hit near an apartment complex, also an industrial complex, resulting in fire on the ground and a lot of structure damage. No reports of injuries. There are reports that this single missile made its way through the air defenses because one of the interceptors malfunctioned.
Fox's Mike Tobin in Tel Aviv. President Trump keeps saying Iran can't be allowed to have nuclear weapons, and he's told Israel's prime minister he'll decide within 2 weeks if the U.S. will help take out Iran's program.
Benjamin Netanyahu reacting to that, stating that he trusts President Trump's judgment. Also, he feels that Israel is capable of destroying Iran's nuclear threat unilaterally. The U.S., though, is the only nation with possession of a bomb that could reach Iran's nuclear enrichment site Fordow, which is built deep into the mountainside.
Fox's Alexandria Hoff at the White House, where just before midnight, President Trump posted on Truth Social, big win at the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, adding that the judges realized that California Governor Gavin Newsom is incompetent and ill-prepared. This after the court upheld the president's authority to deploy National Guard troops to Los Angeles to deal with protests over illegal immigration raids, but the Democratic governor vows to keep challenging that. And a Fox News poll seems to side with Newsom. A slight majority agree.
The Trump administration's gone too far on immigration enforcement. A similar number found that sending National Guard and U.S. troops to Southern California made the situation worse. Nearly 2/3 of independent voters polled do not approve of the way ICE is operating, with voters evenly split on approving or disapproving protests against ICE.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. In that poll, 46% approve of the overall job the president's doing. Summer starts tonight, and
it's going to feel like the dog days of summer across the central U.S.
Fox meteorologist Janice Tina could hit 101 degrees in Denver today. Heat advisories or warnings from there to Minnesota to Mississippi, then the East Coast gets it next week. America's listening to Fox News.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
As Israel and Iran keep battling each other, some Americans stuck in Israel, unable to flee the Iran missile attacks, finally did get out on flights chartered by Florida's governor.
A second flight of Florida residents fleeing missile attacks in Israel landed in Tampa early this morning. It's part of an effort through the Florida Department of Emergency Management. Governor Ron DeSantis says it's the state's responsibility to help its people.
The reality is there's going to be more folks that are going to be rescued. This is an ongoing effort. I know that there's, potentially some other states that may want to get in the game at this point.
Florida coordinated with Gray Bull Rescue to get the Florida residents from Israel to Cyprus via cruise ships in order to board flights back to Florida. In Miami, Evan Brown, Fox News.
Another American got an even bigger welcome home yesterday. They were all gathered in Tenafly, New Jersey, as Idana Alexander returned to where he grew up. They celebrated his release last month after a 1.5-year hostage ordeal. Alexander was born in Tel Aviv and gone back to serve in Israel's military when he was kidnapped by Hamas in the 2023 terror attack and held captive in Gaza till he was the last living American hostage set free. A Jewish Republican in Congress says he was attacked while driving his car.
Max Miller is calling the incident a blatant act of anti-Semitic violence. In a video posted to social media, the Ohio lawmaker described the driver shouting death to Israel and threats against him and his family. The encounter happened in Rocky River just outside Cleveland. Miller, a former Marine, has filed a report with Capitol Police and local authorities.
As Fox's Ted Lindner. On Wall Street, stock futures are now up modestly ahead of today's trading after yesterday's Juneteenth holiday off. In the NBA, the finals all tied up now after the Indiana Pacers beat the Oklahoma City Thunder 108-91 in Game 6. That forces a Game 7 championship decider Sunday night. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. Well, a man in custody. It follows a long-hour standoff in Urbana. Police attempting to serve the arrest warrant Tuesday for an aggravated robbery in the 200 block of South Lynn Street. Jilquan Robertson fled into a third-floor apartment. Once inside, he made threats of violence toward officers. SWAT called. He was eventually peacefully arrested. National Weather Service office in Lincoln sent out 2 storm survey teams. On Thursday, strong storms moved into the state from the west and southwest Wednesday. They included Jacksonville as well as Farmers City. Several locations they had to survey, results not yet available. Illinois Department of Public Health confirming West Nile virus has been found in mosquito samples in 17 counties this year in Illinois. No human cases of the virus reported in the state so far this year. Last year, there were 69 confirmed human cases of West Nile, including 13 deaths, the highest since 17 deaths recorded in 2018. You're locally up to date from the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
Okay, get your shorts out. Get all that going on because that's all you're going to need for a spell. And all of that. So, do you have a few extra minutes?
I do. Yes. This is a fun. Yes, either hour.
I've got a cool story.
Okay.
Long Branch Restaurant is, 5 years we've really worked with them.
Mm-hmm. Downtown Gifford.
Mm-hmm.
You'd like that food, Christine. Like your whole family like the steaks that Donnie puts out. So there's been a John Goodman sighting because he's doing a movie in Paxton.
I've heard of that. I've seen that on Facebook,
Yeah. So he's been around. So last night at Long Branch, here comes John Goodman. Comes into the restaurant, has a steak with his buddies, Bryan Cranston.
Oh,
Rudy,
really?
Sean Astin was there.
The son of John Astin from Addams Family, right?
Was he? Because he's Rudy, and he was in My Sam in Lord of the Rings.
Yes,
big star.
I know.
Anyway, so and the Lindsay Greer, I'm not familiar with her. Was she a 2.5 Man? I'm not sure.
Okay.
Anyway, so here comes the stars of the movie.
Yeah.
Into the Long Branch, Bryan Cranston, who's in Breaking Bad, and among other things. The guy, he's really good. So Bryan Cranston tells Donnie Curtis, the owner of the Long Branch restaurant, my chiropractor in L.A. said if I'm ever in Gifford, you got to go to the Long Branch.
Oh, really?
You got to be kidding me.
Nice.
So Donnie is serving him up, and the stars said this is some of the best steak we've ever eaten.
Awesome.
So isn't that cool?
This is over in Gifford.
Yeah, in Gifford. You just drive Rantoul and you keep driving east on, 36? Is that 36?
Yeah, I know exactly where it's at. I've done some speaking engagements there, kind of in there's some type of German civic building not far from the bank over there, Gifford State Bank.
Right.
Max and I had been, they made a number of appearances over there.
Well, I don't know if I got you over to the Long Branch at that time. Donnie's owned it for 10 years, but he cuts the steak individually. And it's just really, really good. In fact, we have little surveys that my wife wrote to see how people thought.
Yeah.
And this most recent one from Kelly, who'd never been to Long Branch. Excellent staff welcoming right when we came in. I think the staff did a really good job. I think, everything was excellent. The appetizer platter, the chopped steak, onions, mushrooms, excellent. Prices, excellent. Temperature of food, excellent. It's just a real hit.
Right.
And so that's what the stars got, and they'll probably come back. John Paddock, who came in for that miraculous end of the season for Illinois football, quarterback that weren't one. He brings his buddies now.
Nice.
Long Branch Steakhouse. Anyway, cool star story.
Yes, and they
so just wait till you and Diane turn up there one day.
Woo, Diane's
smokes.
a regular.
Oh yeah,
she has her own table.
At least once a month we go. We really enjoy it, and it's interesting to see the cast of Chili Finger popping around.
Yeah, no. And this picture Donnie sent me of he and John Goodman. I've seen pictures that people have had on Facebook and stuff.
Yeah.
But I've not seen John Goodman smiling until this one. Big grim. Donnie's the one that's not smiling.
Yes.
And Bryan Cranston.
Right.
Man, that's like an A1, top-notch, Hollywood lineup over there.
No, and then the Lindsay Greer. I don't know
Judy
why.
Greer?
Judy Greer.
There we go.
I just not familiar with her work. I'm sure she's great.
Mm-hmm.
So there's Lindsay, and
the film is about a mother who discovers a human finger in her bowl of fast food chili.
Isn't that
true?
No.
Is that true? Oh no!
And then she begins to blackmail the restaurant.
Well, isn't that a true story though?
I don't know.
We looked that up because I thought that actually was a thing. Anyway.
Last time I ordered chili out.
We are ready to go with our weather, brought to you this morning by the Urbana Park District.
And they remind you we've got some hot coming on, and they've got the cool pool ready for you. The Family Aquatic Center at Crystal Lake Park in Urbana is the perfect choice. Boy, they have, the high dive and the slide, and they have like a rock climbing wall that you can go on an angle and then dump into the deep end, which is cool.
Do they have like a lazy river thing there? Where you just sort of
a circle that you create.
Like that. Yeah.
You create some kind of the waves and the current. And
that's my speed.
I love that thing, man. And sometimes it's hard to get out. You're like, I'm going to go out. And you can't because the current's taking you. Anyway, there's lots of options for you. UrbanaParks.org.
All right, Mr. Greg, it's the heat wave. I got to get that song queued up today.
There you go. And but this is not the big hot ridge mound of upper level high pressure that is going to move us into this dry, drought-ridden weather pattern. Matter of fact, we're getting a little more bearish on talk of that. And we'll talk about that here in the next couple of weeks to come. But yeah, the next several days, probably for the next 5 to 7, pretty tough out there. The worst of it between Sunday and Wednesday. Wouldn't be surprised some of our drier locales in East Central Illinois, dry grounds get better heat and heating, get close to 100 degrees around here. It'll certainly feel well past that many day with high humidity from the wet soils, the Gulf, and we're going to ultimately mid next week tap into remnant tropical moisture all the way up out of the Pacific through Mexico, the Rio Grande, the Southern Plains, and then up our way. So yeah, there are rain chances in the forecast as well moving forward the second half of next week. So hang in there the best you can. 70 now at Willard and Savoy later on this afternoon with a partly cloudy sky, and there may be a shower out northwest of I-55 if you're going to be out that way for some reason this morning. Should top out at around 86, down tonight to 71. Summer comes a-calling, 9:42 in the evening. Tomorrow, breezy, hot, humid, sunshine at 93, 95 Sunday, 96 Monday, 97 Tuesday. Peak index values at probably 105 to 110, and a couple of thunderstorms will roam the area the second half of next week, especially Thursday and Friday, but still muggy at night, 70s there with lower 90s by day. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solier.
All right, my friend, thank you very much. ESPN 93.5. But can you remember who sang it? That's the question. Okay. Here you go.
Martha and the Vandellas.
What's her last name?
Reeves?
What's her middle name and her birthday?
It's funny how you remember different chapters of life. And I worked at Oldies 92 for, in mid-20s to early 30s and just had a blast.
Martha Reeves and the Vandellas. Gonna get hot.
Heat wave.
Not very many people were born when this was playing. I mean, listening right now. The majority of the country was born. Baby boomers are dominating.
1963, this was a big hit.
Celebrity encounters at your, I don't know, restaurant place. I mean, when Tom Hanks went to Jarling's, that caused a ripple.
Yeah, his son or his
I wasn't gonna say I wasn't.
Oh.
I keep anonymity at this point.
I have a friend who's a neighbor and has him over for grills all the time. But,
anyway, the guy's trying to be. He has a brother.
Yes,
and he's trying to keep his anonymity.
Sure.
When you're Tom Hanks' brother.
It's fine.
Anyway, he went to Jarling's and the woman was stammering, and he said, "It's okay that it happens."
Right.
It's
so. Yeah, Tom Hanks, pretty big star.
Yeah, he is. He really, really is. And I don't know of the celebrity Champaign County thing. I'm sure there have been people that have popped in.
I literally ran into Dan Aykroyd when he was walking around Bourbon Street. Same with Lenny Kravitz.
And in Champaign, Ebert
John Paxton.
Yeah, I like John. He died so early.
I know it. And his parents kind of met in Rantoul at Chanute Air Force Base. So he shared that story with me. When I met Matt Dillon, the only movie I could think of was the one that he made with Lindsay Lohan on Herbie the Love Bug back in the day.
He's in Flamingo Kid.
There were so many classic movies that he was in, but that's the only.
Was it Champaign Urbana?
And when I was bringing up movies he was in, I was like,
Man, I didn't see that one yet. I'll go rent that.
No, I like the Love Bug movie. I know he just took it as a paycheck, but...
If you have a celebrity encounter, 217-359-2255, Fisher National Bank text line. Let's check sports headlines.
St. Louis Cardinals winning yesterday over the Chicago White Sox. Let's get more details.
The Redbird Recap is sponsored by Helitech Waterproofing and Foundation Repair. Heal your home with Helitech.
With Ricky Horton, I'm John Rooney, and yesterday on the south side of Chicago, the Cardinals had to come from behind to win 5-4 in the opener. They had a 3-run eighth inning, and Wilson Contreras hit a big home run. And then in the nightcap, after the White Sox fought with a 5-run seventh inning to tie it at 6, the Cardinals won it with 2 runs in the 10th, and Newpark capped off the day with a home run, 8-6 the final.
Also, Nolan Arenado was able to contribute his 350th big league home run. He had a great day, a 3-hit day, including a single in that last inning.
Sometimes you have to win ugly, Ricky. A couple of runners picked off for the Cardinals on the bases. The bullpen wasn't quite as sharp, but the Cardinals swept the 3-game series.
Certainly an ugly game, but the Cardinals will live with it as they swept the White Sox.
So the Cardinals come back home to play the Reds tonight, a 6:15 game. Andre Palante 4-3 against Brady Singer 7-4. We'll be on the air at 5:20, and Ricky will have the lineups at 6:05.
Is your home showing symptoms of foundation issues? Your home's wet basement, dingy crawl space, musty smells, cracked walls, or unlevel concrete shouldn't be ignored. Helitech can help. Life happens in your home. You and your family deserve the best. Helitech offers proven solutions in waterproofing, drainage, concrete leveling, and foundation repair services. Contact us for a free inspection at helitechonline.com.
When the water's high, we'll keep your basement dry. Heal your home with Helitech.
So, Cardinals in Cincinnati. Cubs have Seattle, Stevie, your new favorite team.
Yeah, new favorite team, Seattle Mariners. Yeah, they play in Wrigley. Look at the Cubbies yesterday down 8-3.
No,
they almost came all the way.
Milwaukee on top 8-7. But 1:20 start today. In case you'd like to head to Wrigley and check that out, Matthew Boyd on the bump against George Kirby. Got to start learning some of these Mariner names.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Now that, but Toronto or Tacoma is who Jacob is playing
Triple A right now.
Right
as he
now.
starts, got in the outfield last night, getting to sea legs. He went from Charlotte to Seattle.
Okay.
It's like 6 hours. Wow. A long flight.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's way out there. But
you're going against time, so on the clock, it doesn't look like you've traveled 6 hours.
You come back, it's like a day.
I know.
No, it's a three. It's 2 time zones.
You stayed in America on that trip.
It's 3 time zones from what he's used to. So anyway, it's great. And yeah, Jacob Hurtubise, my son-in-law, is now with the Seattle Mariners.
So we've got a Game 7 NBA Finals with the Pacers winning 108-91 over Oklahoma City. So Sunday night at 7 as that series is tied up at 3 apiece.
Really, really heck of a long NBA season, capping off to an exciting finish.
Right.
Weather brought to you by Carl.
Carl reminds you, always looking for new members of the team. If you need more details, visit carl.org/careers.
All right, check your Fox Business Minute. Hey, it's Friday. I called Brother Johnny. You got some clips that you want to hear. I got a cut from me on Elon Musk. You got to hear that.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather. For East Central Illinois, Champaign, and Bentonville. Saturday, good old-fashioned heat wave weather pattern getting cranked up over the weekend. Lasts the better part of next week, but the toughest of weather conditions between Sunday and Tuesday. But we'll weekend that hot high, drawing Gulf moisture, Pacific moisture from a remnant hurricane down there. And there'll be a fair amount of opportunities to generate some additional rainfall in the middle and late portions of next week. Yeah, getting a little more bearish on this real tough drought weather pattern going forward, at least into early to mid-summertime. Partly cloudy, warm for the day today at 86 and a south-southwesterly breeze. Summertime, 9:42 this evening. Clocks on in. Warm, more humid, fair, and 71 for the weekend. Breezy, hot, humid, sunshine, and 93 tomorrow. High of 95 on Sunday, 96 Monday, 97 Tuesday. Peak index values of 104 to 109. A couple of thunderstorms break out Wednesday, more so into Thursday and Friday next week with highs north of 90. For CVJ Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solier.
Urbana's Market at the Square has been cultivating a vibrant scene in CU since 1979. Get to know your farmers bringing locally harvested honey, crafts, jewelry, art, fresh cut flowers, plus produce including fresh leafy greens and root vegetables, fresh baked treats, and a wide selection of proteins. Going on now, every Saturday, 7 a.m. till noon, rain or shine at Illinois and Vine, it's Urbana Market at the Square. Find Urbana Market on Facebook or urbanamarket.org.
I'm Maria Bartiromo, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Wall Street is back to trading again after the Juneteenth holiday. Bank of America Global Research is raising its forecast for stocks. It's seeing resilience in global growth despite the Iran-Israel conflict and the trade disputes. CarMax shares up more than 9%. The used car seller reported a better than expected quarter. Audi is considering building a new plant in the southern U.S. Reports in Germany say Audi, a unit of Volkswagen, is looking to avoid import tariffs, though building a new plant would be the more expensive option out of various scenarios it's considering. Tesla shares are up 1%. It is the last trading day before Sunday's scheduled robo-taxi launch. The launch is expected to be small with a limited number of cars. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Coselda. Invested in you.
It's time to take the quiz.
It's 5 questions in less than 5 minutes. We asked people on the streets of New York City to play along. Let's see how you do.
What is the name of the coffee shop in the sitcom Friends?
Mel's Diner.
Central Perk. The answer? Central Perk.
Either way, you can always try again tomorrow. Take the quiz every day at thequiz.fox, then come back here to see how you did.
And thank you for taking the quiz.
Take charge of the years ahead with a smart, sound investment strategy and business succession plan. Busey Bank's business and wealth management experts help you envision your best future with powerful insights and proven strategies. Building business and growing wealth since 1868. Busey Bank, proud to be the official bank of the Fighting Illini. Member FDIC.
At ABC Heating and Air, it's our promise to help you always be comfortable. Do you need rescued because you're burning hot? Do you need rescued because your air is shot? Call ABC Heating and Air at 352-5400 and let us rescue you from the heat. ABC Heating and Air, 352-5400. Can't you see you need to call me at ABC? Call ABC Heating and Air. That's ABC Heating and Air, 352-5400.
Racing, racing, racing. Friday Night Lights at Farmer City Raceway is a blast. Only $15 admission and kids 12 and under are free. This Friday, June 14th, has Matco Tool Night, $1,000 tool spree to the late mods winner, Dyer's Top Rods mods, and a full show. Head to 850 Grove Street in Farmer City with hot laps at 6:30. Details at farmercityracing.com. You'll buy the whole seat, but you'll only need the edge.
Healthy Living Spas invite you to the 4th Annual Hot Tub Expo this Friday through Sunday at Carl at the Fields in Champaign. 3 days only with unbeatable deals. Save an extra $500 on any hot tub or $1,000 on any swim spa. Special financing available too. Doors open Friday 2 to 7, Saturday 11 to 7, and Sunday noon to 5. The 4th Annual Hot Tub Expo this weekend at Carl at the Fields in Champaign.
Yes, it is Friday. It is June 20, ESPN 93.5.
Happy birthday, Mike Anderson.
Happy birthday, Mike Anderson, Diane's unbelievably wonderful husband.
It just clicked when we met. I found my perfect partner. It was amazing. I'm so grateful.
What a good man. I think you're planning to buy him a hot tub. I hope he's not listening.
He's not much of a water guy.
Okay. Well, you like it, so buy one.
I would.
Buy one for him and use it.
Well, and, when Dylan Logue was in here, I was thinking, can you get prescription for it with your back issues? It essentially is healthy medicine for you. You can check it out for yourself at Carl at the Fields today through the 22nd. And they've got this big expo going on where they've got some deep discounts for you. A lot of inventory ready to set up next week if you'd like to move on it quickly. 2 to 7 today, 11 to 7 Saturday, and 12 to 5 on Sunday.
Yep, and might be something to go check out. They'll have some of them set up, and actually they don't mind if you come in a swimsuit.
You're right.
Yeah. We're not going to let you
linger too long.
Well, no, skinny dip.
Oh.
Can't do that. But anyway, it's at Carl at the Fields
I can't see you doing that, Stevie.
Well, you're right, because it wouldn't happen.
Okay. I'm trying to think of how many times I've skinny dipped.
Yeah,
Probably half a dozen.
Okay.
But I had a girlfriend who had a pool in the back, and, you know, it's like between 6th grade and 8th grade when you're just having all these overnights and slumber parties and stuff, and you truth or dare and all that.
I got you. So you're talking elementary school.
Exactly.
All right.
Silly stuff.
We've got a thing. I'm going to play the Elon Musk clip about an innovation I've never heard of, but it's unbelievably exciting. We'll play that. Governor Pritzker asked if some of the Illinois counties really could secede and leave for Indiana, have to draw a little line inside our state border. We'll see what he says about that. Kind of dissed Indiana on his response to it.
I see.
I mean, really, would you rather live in Chicago or Indianapolis? I mean,
yeah.
I understand the magnitude of Chicago, but I also understand the enormous issues we have in our state politically. We're a dysfunctional body. That's what I believe. You just don't have people fleeing the state. I told you the story. I saw somebody in Nashville who was from Chicago, and I looked and I said, "Are you happy you came to Tennessee?" He went, "Best decision of my life.
I know.
I should have done it earlier.
Right.
I should have done it earlier."
You start gushing about it.
Oh, man.
What do you really feel?
Yeah, and so also there's a clip online on social media of Donald Trump's butler. And not his butler anymore, probably because, I don't know, the White House or something. Maybe you can't. I don't know. In any event, interesting story about Barron.
Okay.
They think Barron Trump is most like his dad than any of the kids.
I see.
We
just don't hear from him much.
Well,
he's just kind of calm, cool, and collected in my mind.
Pretty articulate politically on social media.
Okay.
And definitely like his father.
Didn't realize that.
But the butler shares the very end of the clip, and I'll play it later in the show. He says at 2.5 years old, he brought food in to Barron. And Barron says, "Tony, sit down. We have to talk." Oh. And guess how many times he heard his dad say stuff,
right?
No child at 2.5 makes that up. "Hey, Tony, sit down. We have to talk." He's 2.5.
Okay.
And he turned out.
Barron's 6'7".
I thought he was 6'8". He's up there.
I just did a little online search and we brought up the topic.
I'm not sure. Has anybody ever measured him? I mean, we're not going to get a chance.
You're right.
So, he's up there. He's taller than his dad by a lot, and mom. And I don't think Melania is short.
Right.
She always wears big old heels. He's 6'3". Donald Trump's 6'3".
Mm-hmm.
I think Elon Musk must be 6'4" or 5".
Right.
He's a big, tall drink of
Barron's
water,
19.
Too. Yeah. No, he's tall. But how do you live? What life is that? Think about that. You're 18 years old. I had an afro. Okay? I went wherever I wanted. Wherever he goes, there's 6 people about it. He has full Secret Service. You'd have to.
Right.
And so what's the school like? Mm-hmm. If you're not in a dorm. You're in a protected building. He's in his own.
Or do you just kind of homeschool?
I think for college, isn't he going somewhere?
I don't know. Elon is 6'2", by the way.
He's taller than Trump. I don't know. I've seen him side by side. Maybe he has alligator elevators in there. I don't know. But he appears to be taller than me. Anyway, so
Trump's 6'3", so.
Barron Trump, what kind of life is it for the Obama kids?
Mm-hmm.
It's just, we never really think about the life they have. I mean, all Michelle Obama's doing now is telling how bad it was as First Lady. I don't think that's a good look.
No.
Just to appreciate what you had.
Absolutely.
Why would you go and be traumatized by having to be First Lady? Oh, my gosh. It just doesn't play well.
Right.
All right, we're going to break for the news. Brother Johnny, next on this Friday. Kelsey Furniture in downtown Tuscola sells Tempur-Pedic beds. What's it like?
I'm going to tell you right now, Stevie, that thing is the best thing I've ever slept on in my life. My wife and I both have said we've never had better night's sleep. And the people at Kelsey's were fantastic. Brian is the guy that helped us. You know, as much as I did my research, he had a world of knowledge about beds themselves. Oh, man, it's like sleeping on a cloud, man.
Kelsey Furniture, downtown Tuscola.
At Pards in Urbana, the boots just keep on coming. They're known for their huge collection of men's cowboy boots, women's cowgirl boots, kids' boots, and even shoes. If you're searching for top footwear brands, look no further than Pards. They carry a wide variety, including Ariat, Dan Post, Smoky Mountain, Roper, Double H, and more. And if socks or accessories are what you need, they've got all your high-quality essentials. Since 1968, Pards has been serving their customers with high-quality merchandise. And if you haven't been to Pards in a while, a lot has changed. Go check them out just off University Avenue in Urbana.
Legendary blues icon Buddy Guy is bringing his Damn Right Encore tour to the Virginia Theater June 24th. Celebrate the blues with the one and only Buddy Guy.
And the blues don't lie.
Whose unforgettable guitar mastery has inspired generations. You don't want to miss this electrifying live performance at the Virginia Theater June 24th. Learn more about the show at thevirginia.org.
Fox News, I'm CJ Papa. Israel's military says it targeted 2 spots in western Iran, 25 fighter jets striking missile and storage and launch positions today, while a missile from Iran sneaks through the Iron Dome, slamming into the southern city Beersheba. Iran's foreign minister in Geneva telling Reuters Iran is ready to discuss limitations on uranium enrichment. He's meeting with his European counterparts. He runs the group that monitors nuclear energy and weapons around the world. Mike Tobin from Fox spoke with Rafael Grossi.
The Director General of the International Atomic Energy Agency tells me in an exclusive interview, Iran does have enough uranium for several nuclear bombs, and the regime is just a quick step away from enriching to weapons-grade uranium. However, he said he saw no plans for Iran to take that step.
America's listening to Fox News.
Local news. Well, National Weather Service in Lincoln sent out 2 storm survey teams Thursday. Strong storms moved into Illinois from the west and southwest. They headed to central Illinois, including Jacksonville, and another area in Farmers City where a storm was hit. Those surveys yet to be identified. Illinois Liquor Control Commission urging boaters to be responsible, understand the dangers associated with boating under the influence. Drinking while boating significantly increases the risk of accidents, injuries, and deaths. It's illegal to operate a boat with a blood alcohol content of 0.08 or higher. The Chatham JC is set to host the 50th annual Sweet Corn Festival later this month. The event, making half a century in Chatham for the festival, will take place July 18th through the 19th at Chatham Community Park. Since 1974, the Chatham Sweet Corn Festival has been a beloved summer tradition that only paused 1 year for COVID back in 2020. You're locally up to date from the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
Thank you, Jim. We jump to our weather. It is a heat wave, my friends. We've been through this before. It doesn't make it comfortable.
Stay hydrated and get some air circulation, air conditioning, all good.
Here's meteorologist Greg Solier with the details.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for Eastern Illinois, Champaign, and vicinity. Enjoy today the heat side into the front part of the weekend, the back end of the weekend through about Wednesday next week. It's a good old-fashioned heat wave weather pattern. Mid-90s by day, even a few upper 90s Monday and Tuesday. Peak and index values of 104, 108, perhaps even past 110 with a copious amounts of humidity. But the second half of next week, rain's back in the forecast. Partly cloudy and warm for the day today. We'll top out around 86 and a south-southwesterly breeze. Tonight, warm, more humid as the night wears on. Fair and 71 will clock in at summertime. 9:42 in the evening. Tomorrow, breezy, hot, humid, sunshine at 93. 95 Sunday. 96 Monday. 97 Tuesday. We'll be in the low to mid-90s Wednesday through Friday next week. And each day, a couple of clusters of showers and thunderstorms. Late night to early morning and late afternoon, early evening. So increasing rainfall prospects as the heat eases, but the humidity stays high the second half of next week. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solier.
Brother Johnny down in New Orleans, you know heat and humidity. I mean, I've been down there a long time ago in August, and it could barely breathe. So us at 97, heat index 105, Johnny, that doesn't scare you, man.
That's right.
No way.
No, that starts to feel pretty good, actually. What I notice is the -8, -12.
Yeah.
So remember, your blood's 98.6. Come on, you're right there. You're right there.
Yeah, I would prefer this than the 25-inch blizzard and ice and -50. I'm not.
Yeah, but it is uncomfortable, especially with some humidity thrown in. So.
Yeah, it is. But I'd rather, if you're saying extreme, I'll take the heat. That's what I would do versus the cold.
I was listening to somebody coming in, and they were saying, "Oh, you're not supposed to drink alcohol and stuff with caffeine if you're going to be spending time outside." And the other person was like, well, what am I supposed to drink?
Well, I guess water is always an option.
Exactly. That's what the other radio guy said.
Well,
water.
Yeah, you could have water. All right.
Sports drinks.
We touch on the Israel-Iran. Apparently, there is word that Donald Trump is going 2 more weeks and before he decides on the U.S. involvement with the bunker busters that they've been thinking about. This is Iran's nuclear facilities. They're talking about 2 more weeks. And then, of course, the threats are coming that we'll do our cells in America and we'll unleash them and we're going to do all kinds of single attacks and all these bombers. And so, I mean, I'm not sure what's changed because they've always had kind of that threat to America and the West in general. So what say you to give Iran maybe 2 more weeks? But will Israel, who have come to the real doorstep of a significant historical change, but then, Johnny, as Colin Powell said about Iraq, if you break it, you own it. What happens, do you think?
Well, it's a little different. First of all, the 2 weeks is to see if we can finish off most of the ballistic missile launchers, because if they don't have that, they don't have an offense. They have no Army, Navy, or Air Force, really, that's effective. So getting rid of the launchers gives you some options to protect your bases in the Middle East. The cells across the Western world, Steve, you're right, they've always been there. But it could be a problem. You have to figure on that. And then you have to figure on how close are they to a nuclear weapon. They have a facility that we haven't been able to damage, and they don't need very many nuclear warheads to wreak havoc. I mean, 3, 1.
Yeah, right.
So it's a big question. It'd be nice to be able to take that last facility out and then leave them alone. If we quote, get involved, it's going to be dropping the bombs that might be able to get down, what is it, a mile or 2? Or,
it's actually, they say 300 feet, but it's under a mountain. So
and rock, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a pretty tough one, but they have people, apparently in the B-52, this is all they've done in their whole career is train for this one time they might be needed. So we got the best people. You don't just say, hey, Israel, here's my jet. You do the stealth and you push that button and push that. No, this is highly trained, highly precise. And
well, you
and
have
not
to
easy.
hit a building site, which is a few thousand square feet, and then you have to hit it again.
Yeah. Right,
I think it's the same spot.
Yep. One digs partially. But my question is, Israel is doing a magnificent job. Why not let them go inside the thing, get all the way down the elevator, and detonate from within? Why wouldn't you do that?
Well, if they could, I'm not sure what they're. I say they don't have. Iran doesn't have an army, but inside Iran, they're kind of surrounded by mountains and deserts. So to be attacked or to flow out of the country to attack is a hard one. But to get into Iran and do what you're saying, I don't know how many troops Israel has, and they've got a lot in Gaza still. And so then we don't want to do that. Our level of interest is to help them take out that last.
Right.
That last
well, there's a dozen nuclear sites. It's fun to. I keep forgetting the name. It begins with the F. Fontaine. Anyway, it's a big one with, and they think, and again, and what makes me pause is I remember vividly George W. Bush said Iran's 8 days away from a nuclear. I mean, George W. Bush. So how do I know?
Yeah, well, we never know. We're just kind of in the audience. But there's a lot of non-American intelligence that says they're close. And there's also the Atomic Energy Agency said they weren't following the rules, and we can't check on them, and they won't let us look. And so that's it. And the problem is, Steve, it's not like, well, we just didn't want to rustle any feathers, so we didn't bother them. And then they start nuking people.
No,
that's the problem. And they keep telling us they're going to do it.
Well, it's like 95% of Republicans said, absolutely, you can't get 100% on anything, that Iran should not have the bomb. 80% of Democrats. So if we have intelligence that says, they're close and all this, you can't wait to guess when it's close, I don't think.
Well, you can't. You can't take a chance on it.
Yeah.
And if you have a chance with minimal risk to eliminate that threat, then it's pretty hard to turn it down, because they're never going to be any weaker than they are right now, because Israel has just done an amazing.
No, I don't know what to say except
Fordo is the name.
Fordo, thank you, Fordo.
Buried deep within the mountain of Tehran.
And so, so you have an opportunity here, and I think there's some real sentiment to saying we're on this. 46 years we've been battling this. End it. No more threat to the nuclear war or having another superpower, and that is so reckless that they fund the Houthis, the Hamas, Hezbollah.
Right.
They've lied all the time.
Yeah, and then if you trade with them, they take the money and do that kind of thing.
Yeah,
and
I know.
We shouldn't have ever lifted their sanctions or unfroze their cash, because that's when this all started up again. But it's still a tough call, and I think we'll probably do it. I think we'll probably drop the bombs. I can tell you, we know the Ayatollah, who's 86 years old, there's not going to be any surrender. That you can forget that. He's not surrendering. That means basically he's out. He could run, but I don't think. I think he's just too hard line. He wants to go out and blaze the glory.
Martyrdom.
Yeah.
So he's got a son. He's got a son that's more radical, apparently. So that's
and that's another thing. Why it's a terrible way to have a government when you just start handing it down to the next crazy in the family.
Yeah.
But the regime is in trouble, and if Iran can get freed from that, it's got a great Western element, and the Iranians are smart, good folks.
Absolutely.
The majority of them.
No.
And
I know in Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning, it was close. It was tight. I mean, Tom Cruise had to get on a biplane to try to save the world from this nuclear disaster.
That's exactly right. Well, anyway, it's Brother Johnny down in New Orleans, ESPN 93.5, 742. So we'll know something, obviously, very soon. But again, the Mossad in Israel, to me, have been so impressive on how they've conducted this. And I don't think I would target him. Isn't that kind of a whole nother can of worms to go after the...
I don't... Yeah, well, I think if they have any opportunity, that's one of their objectives, to take out as many of the leaders as they can.
Right. But those are military leaders. I don't know if you want to get into the religious side of the thing. I don't know.
He's the military leader. He's the supreme leader.
Yeah,
that's the problem with the theocracy. It's both. And so he's the one saying, we'll never give up. We're going to fight. Launch the missiles. And so I think he's a target in war, but I don't think that's their mission. I think they're really trying to debilitate the nuclear program. And I think they're seeing that this could even get the regime. And so they're definitely evaluating what else would we have to do to take this guy.
Well, who is the leader on the ground? It's kind of like China. Don't you disappear if you argue against the supreme leaders?
Yeah.
So
no, you can't.
But who can take the neck? I mean, because isn't it possible it could be worse?
I don't know. How can it be much worse? They're working day and night to try to get his capacity to blow everybody up.
So at this point, it'd be anybody else, I guess, would be better than what they got.
Well, you just finish the mission, debilitate the program, and see what happens.
Yeah.
When people pour into the streets, which has happened in history, then it doesn't matter whether they can't disappear all of them at once.
Mm-hmm.
And so that could happen. And then the army starts to either bail or switch sides, and that's it.
All right, as far as immigration and ICE and everything else, here's former Governor Andrew Cuomo asking the president a question.
Let me ask you a question, Mr. President. Why do the federal ICE agents wear masks covering their face? If they're not ashamed of what they're doing and they're not doing anything illegal, why are they wearing masks?
Because you guys are targeting them, and they're afraid for their families. In the history of our country, have we ever had a former governor suggest they unmask themselves so crazies can put them on the internet, and whacked out mentally ill people can kill them? Johnny, this is so unbelievable.
Well, there's an answer to the question, which is they're getting, what do you call it, doxxed.
And then that's right.
People can see who they are, and they're in danger because they're getting attacked on social media for arresting people, which is legal if they're criminals, and Cuomo knows that. The Democrats keep coming up with these causes that are just pitiful. This is another one.
Unreal.
No, they shouldn't wear masks. First of all, they had us all wearing masks for a long time. So it seems like masks is just a choice of apparel. And I still see people with masks on. But their point is, they look like criminals. Yeah, well, masks kind of make you look like criminals. But they're protecting themselves and their families. And really, a lot of them have families, and that's really why they're doing it.
But why would the Democrats be anti-police, defund the police, and then now doxing these families, these people, is just, I've never seen this before, and that's a major political party doing this.
Well, why would you open the border? Why would you give Iran a bunch of billions and billions of dollars? Why would you do that? So why would they attack the law enforcement? There's a lot of whys these days with the Democrats. and another question is, what are they doing? And so I don't see they don't have a message or a vision. They just attack anything and everything done by their political opponent, which are the Republican and Trump. And so it's getting very tiring. They don't have any good ideas. What they accuse the Republicans, Homeland Security, the president of doing, largely exaggerated or just flat untrue. And I think a lot more people are starting to see that they got to make a change in their party or they're going to walk. And so we'll see. But why would they do that? Because they just want to be negative about everything so they can get back into power.
217-359-2255 on the Fisher National Bank text line. Governor J.B. Pritzker, Illinois governor, wants to be president. He was asked yesterday, what about the counties in Illinois that want to secede and go to Indiana? This is the question.
What do you think of Indiana wanting to pull some of those counties from Illinois that voted on secession?
Well, it's a stunt. It's not going to happen. But I'll just say that that Indiana is a low-wage state that doesn't protect workers. A state that does not provide health care for people when they're in need.
Really?
And so I don't think that it's very attractive for anybody in Illinois, where wages are higher, where the standard of living is higher, and where we do provide health care for people.
And why are people leaving, Governor? Why are they leaving Illinois, sir?
Well, JB's a pretty solid progressive, and he sees a little bit of a gap because Newsom's trying to get into the center a little bit, but then Newsom's playing the other side with his fight with Trump, and it's I don't know how well JB would do, but he's going to stay on the far left, and he might do well in the primaries for the Democrats. I'll tell you that. So I would say a very good chance.
Well, he's definitely made that decision. He's going to be the far left white billionaire. I thought we didn't like white billionaires. I don't get it.
Well, it depends.
All right, I've got this clip you got to hear from Elon Musk. I find this absolutely breathtaking.
In the next 6 to 12 months, we'll be doing our first implants for vision, where even if somebody's completely blind, we can write directly to the visual cortex, and we've had that working in monkeys. Actually, I think one of our monkeys now has had the visual implant for 3 years. Wow! And at first it'll be fairly low resolution, but long term, you would have very high resolution and be able to see in multispectral wavelengths. So you could see in infrared, ultraviolet, radar. It's like a superpower situation. But like at some point, the cybernetic implants would not simply be correcting things that went wrong, but augmenting human capabilities dramatically, augmenting intelligence and senses and bandwidth dramatically, and that's going to happen at some point. But digital superintelligence will happen well before that.
Unbelievable, Johnny. I mean, what the world? Isn't that stunning?
Yeah, that's amazing. If you could give somebody sight, that's what a gift. I don't know how many areas is Elon going to cover.
I mean, well, he's not a doctor. I guess you don't need to be a doctor for that kind of stuff. I don't know. I have ideas.
I'm sure he's got the people.
Well, he does, but he understands. It seems everything he does, he seems to get it. I can give you an idea. I have no idea how to implement it.
Well, and then that'll create more political issues, Stevie. For instance, no X-ray vision for guys. It's gonna. It's just one thing.
Oh man, unbelievable! But the augment and AI and all. We're building the $6 million man. Remember the old TV show?
Right.
The Bionic Man and. No, it's some of the stuff. All right, I got to play one more. This is Donald Trump's former butler. You got to hear this.
Time. You were Donald Trump's butler for quite a long time. How many years did you work for him?
Almost 20, I guess. Trump is one of the nicest, most generous men that I've ever known in my life. After Mr. Trump and Ivana got a divorce, we were going over to his room one night, and he said, "Tony, do I need 4 butlers?" I said, "As long as it's me, Mr. Trump, you only need 1.
Wow.
He said, "Get rid of the other 3.
Oh my goodness.
Man sleeps maybe 3 or 4 hours the most a night.
That's it.
That's it.
Because he says that now, still
It's
today.
true.
And a lot of people don't believe him, but
it's true.
You would know.
Witness. Suit had to be pristine. And one time...
The suit had to be pristine, okay? So he didn't like it when it wasn't.
I took it down, and they like wetted it.
Oops.
So that the lapels were all forward. And he flipped out. Just flipped out. Off. He'll scream at you. You stand in the corner just seething. He's already forgotten it. Tony, bring me a cheeseburger. And it was, and don't forget the ketchup. If it's vegetables, he doesn't want to see them. So that's pretty much it. He's a red-blooded, meat-eating American,
The butler says Barron may be more like his father than any of them.
Barron was 2.5 years old. I took his breakfast into him. He was sitting in his high chair, and he looks at me and he said, "Tony, sit down. We need to talk."
Barron says this.
Barron said it, 2.5 years old.
Great stuff, Johnny. Wow.
I don't think I'd like that job.
No.
I'd probably screw something up pretty quick.
But boy, I tell you, if you're good at something like that, he probably did take care of him pretty well. So, anyway.
Amazing the 3 or 4 hours, I tell you. And I will mention that at age 79. He looks pretty good, but he looks tired, Steve. He looks like he's trying to get tired. I don't know if he'll ever really take a break because I don't know how you can. And look what's been going on.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'm going to record an interview with Newt Gingrich in about an hour. And
cool.
I've been a fan of Newt Gingrich. Yeah. And he had said something I'd never heard before where he said, Trump is from Queens. And people in Manhattan never accept Queens.
Right.
And when he was trying to be accepted, all this stuff, finally he said, forget them. I'll just go my way and make them want to be my friend. That kind of thing. So it's kind of a chip on his shoulder being dissed when he was a kid. But I'd never heard that angle before. But I think Newt Gingrich historically has a real handle. And I'm wondering if things go well with all that he's talking about, will he not be one of the most significant figures in the presidency ever?
Well, he already is. I mean, we haven't had it. We're in uncharted waters now. The guy has been a political impact like we haven't had anybody with any more political impact that I know of. And we've had a lot of political impact, but this guy's, the 3 hours sleep, he does, 8 hours more work than most of them a day. So it's, but you're right. The answer is yes, but I think he already is one of the more significant presidents that we've had. And we'll see. And I think things will go well because I think he's got the right idea. And we have to be honest and face reality, which he may only have 17 months. Because if the Democrats take Congress, they won't let him do anything. It doesn't matter what it is.
Yep.
It could be bad. They'll stop him from doing that. It doesn't matter what he's going to do. They're going to stop him. And I think he's on the right track. I think he's doing the things that we need to do. And so that's why I'm hoping that he can keep going for the 4 years.
You know how many crossed the border illegally in May?
Yeah, well, there were some, but the ones that were released were zero.
Zero.
Zero
released.
It was catch and release was zero, which was 62,000 in May last year.
Yeah, 62,000 a year ago. Isn't that stunning? Well, we will continue to track all that is going on. But if it goes well for Donald Trump, would not the person he endorses have a real good chance to succeed him?
Well, I think that the Republican side will have a good chance because of the just if he does well, we'll like it.
Yeah.
So yes, but I do think there's still a problem with voting. I think the online access to the databases in half our states, and then the algorithms and the online to the voting machines is a problem because they can be hacked, and they have been hacked, and it's been shown they've been hacked. And we need to do better because if we have a real vote, I think everybody can live with okay if that's the majority. But if you're questioning it and with good reason, then it's got an asterisk by it.
Yep.
So I think that's the problem the Republicans face, and I don't really think they think it's as big a problem as it might be in some states. But why would you concede a whole state like California?
No, I know. All right, last clip. It's just the wisdom here of our dear friend Andy Griffith from the Andy Griffith Show, 1960s. He would have reacted. I took this clip from one of the shows, but it makes perfect sense to me.
When our children tell us who they are, it is our job as grown-ups to listen and to believe them.
No, I'm afraid it don't work that way. You can't let a young'un decide for himself. He'll grab at the first flashy thing with shiny ribbons on it. Then when he finds out there's a hook in it, it's too late. The wrong ideas come packaged with so much glitter, it's hard to convince them that other things might be better in the long run. And all a parent can do is say, wait, trust me, and try to keep temptation away.
How about Andy Griffith, Johnny?
Andy, that's pretty good advice, Andy.
Good advice. Good old Andy Griffith.
That's why Opie turned out so well.
That's right. Hey, Johnny, appreciate it. Thanks for joining us.
All right, Diane, Stevie, we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Have a great weekend.
Brother Johnny down in New Orleans, where whatever it is will be hotter than us.
It's like 109 in Las Vegas yesterday, and all that's coming our way. I was thinking.
We landed in Las Vegas one time. It was 116.
Whoa.
And our airplane was just, we all felt like we were about to get sick.
Yeah.
Because of the heat coming up from the desert floor.
See.
And it was absolutely, anyway, 116 that's kind of India. India gets that sometimes. Phoenix in the summer, I guess, is brutal.
Uh-huh.
So I guess you just stay in AC and all of that. But when you went to Louisiana to work, they had an air conditioning unit you were looking at, I guess.
Well, no, I was trying to decide where I was going to live, and I said, where is the air conditioning? And he said, oh, you mean AC? That's air circulation. That's that ceiling fan up there, Diane.
Thank you, Tex. That's tough. All right, we're going to break. The news is next. Another whole hour, final hour of the week next. I'm Stevie J. There's Diane
Good morning.
It's ESPN 93.5, and Fox is straight ahead. All right, it's Tim Onstadt, Dedicated Diesel. We love talking to you about Dedicated Diesel. What's news there?
I've got something. I'm tired of looking at this Dixie Chopper Classic 4060 industrial unit. It's got 58 hours on it. It's basically brand new. The MSRP on that unit is $19,273. The MAP price on it, minimum price that we're allowed to advertise, is $14,577. Somebody's going to walk away with that for $11,000. We're going to take $8,000 or $9,000 off of that and just get rid of it.
Wait a minute, you're talking about a $20,000 machine, and I can get this for essentially half off.
Yep, this is a Dixie Chopper Classic. It's got a 40 horsepower Kawasaki engine, 60-inch deck on it. Comes with all the warranty, $11,000, walk out the door. Call Andy at 217-328-0562. Catch him on Facebook at Dedicated Equipment. You can email me at timo@gftlog.com. Get more information, whatever you want to do, we'll get that to you.
Hi, this is Les Hovland with Philo Exchange Bank. At our banks, we know the hearts of our communities beat with the rhythm of agriculture. ag lending continues to be something we've excelled at for over 140 years. To you, the farmer, your business has been built on trusted relationships. When it comes to your banking relationship, we want to be your trusted partner.
Philo Exchange Bank, hometown community banking since 1883. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Iran is ready to talk. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what an official tells Reuters, that they are willing to discuss limitations on uranium enrichment. President Trump keeps insisting they give it up, saying he won't allow Iran to build nuclear weapons.
And he is this afternoon going to be sitting down, meeting with his National Security Council, as he will continue to do so throughout the weekend. This is as this timeline has been set, this 2 weeks for Iran to opt for a diplomatic route, an off-ramp out of this whole thing.
Fox's Alexandria Hoff at the White House. That conflict is a week old now.
The Israeli military says their fighter jets are back in the air right now over central and western Iran, striking targets.
Fox's Mike Tobin in Tel Aviv.
The head of the International Atomic Agency spoke exclusively to Fox News. He said Iran had enough uranium for several bombs and was just a quick step away from enriching to weapons grade. However, he says Iran had not begun the final steps to make a bomb.
Iran launched more missiles at Israel, and one got through the Iron Dome defense and did damage, but no one was hurt. Hundreds of Americans who were stuck in Israel have gotten out, and they won't miss the missiles.
It'd be like at 1 o'clock, 12 o'clock in the morning, and you just have to go straight to the bomb shelters. And you have to hide because all you can hear is just boom, boom, boom.
A second flight chartered by Florida Governor Ron DeSantis landed this morning. The National Guard troops President Trump deployed to Los Angeles can stay after an appeals court ruled, and he called a great decision on Truth Social, that the president was within his authority to federalize those troops to deal with protests against his illegal immigration raids. California's Democratic governor says he'll keep challenging the deployment. Another ruling went against the president.
U.S. District Judge John McConnell is siding with 20 states who sued the Trump administration over requirements that they cooperate with ICE in exchange for billions of dollars in funding for roads, airports, and other infrastructure. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy had warned in April that his department may cut off the congressionally appropriated grants.
That's Fox's Tanya J. Powers. America's listening to Fox News.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
There is a new Fox News poll that President Trump does not like. Less than half, 46% approve of the overall job he's doing.
Republicans say they are most worried about illegal immigration and Iran having a nuclear weapon. Independents and Democrats are in alignment in the latest Fox News poll, with most of them saying their biggest worry is the future of the country. Their second biggest concern is inflation and higher prices. Just over half of those surveyed think the Trump administration's gone too far with immigration enforcement. Nearly 2/3 of independent voters do not approve of ICE operations. The poll also found just over half of respondents, 52%, think Congress should investigate former President Biden's use of the auto pen. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
Now, the only issue, a majority of people in that Fox poll approve the president's handling of his border security. More than 60% disapprove when it comes to the president and the economy and inflation. On Wall Street, stock futures are rising before the opening bell. And now an update on an environmental disaster.
Vice President and former Senator from Ohio, J.D. Vance, took to social media to announce the National Institutes of Health will spend $10 million to see what kind of impact the train wreck and chemical spill in East Palestine, Ohio had on people's health.
We're finally going to study the effects on these chemicals and finally get to the bottom of what effect this terrible train crash and the ensuing consequences had on the people of East Palestine.
This isn't the first time the feds have spent money to study the health impact of the wreck. President Biden announced last year 6 NIH grants to study the impacts of what happened, but those grants only totaled about $1.5 million. Jill Nato, Fox News.
The NBA Finals are going to a Game 7.
Jalen Williams, 16 points, throws it away. Halliburton comes up with it. Cross court, Siakam for the slam.
Indiana beat the Oklahoma City Thunder 108-91 on ABC, so the Pacers forced that Game 7 Sunday night. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. Illinois Department of Public Health confirming West Nile virus has been found in mosquito samples in 17 counties this year in Illinois. No human cases of the virus reported in the state so far this year. Last year, there were 69 confirmed human cases of West Nile, including 13 deaths, the highest since 17 deaths recorded in 2018. Well, a man in custody. It follows a long-hour standoff in Urbana. Police attempting to serve the arrest warrant Tuesday for an aggravated robbery in the 200 block of South Lynn Street. Jilquan Robertson fled into a third-floor apartment. Once inside, he made threats of violence toward officers. SWAT called. He was eventually peacefully arrested. National Weather Service office in Lincoln sent out 2 storm survey teams. On Thursday, strong storms moved into the state from the west and southwest Wednesday. They included Jacksonville as well as Farmers City. Several locations they had to survey, results not yet available. You're locally up to date from the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
Yep, okay, so that all happened. Soye was very busy bee, doing all this stuff. By the way, there's a Soye at Northern Illinois still. Is that a brother? Is there a Mark? There's a Mark, Soulje.
Oh, you know, my brother went to NIU and then went into the Air Force. Somehow worked it where he went to where is it? Chinook? No, not Chinook. Offutt Air Base in Omaha as an officer after he got.
But you don't know Mark Soulje.
Oh, that's my brother. Yeah,
that's him.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's him,
but
yeah.
But
he's not there. He's not there anymore.
But it said there's a picture of him that looked comparable age to you, and then underneath it said Northern Illinois University.
He's the younger brother, but is much older than I am. So.
Gotcha. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, but there's not very many Souljes in Illinois, is there?
No. There are. I have a couple of cousins, and then the boys, myself, Christine, and then I think in New Zealand I might have either an uncle or actually a great. I think it would be a great uncle. So if he's still around.
Well, I think there's 52 Khachaturians in the United States. So.
You keep track of this?
You can go and you can I don't know what source I have.
You guys have that family reunion and stuff too.
Yeah.
That's on my mom's side.
Oh.
The Khachaturian side, I don't know. We have some cousins, but not many.
I see.
And L.A. has a big Armenian community.
Okay.
Los Angeles, so there's quite a few in California. Anyway, it's our meteorologist, Greg Soulje.
Yes.
Soulje.
That's right. Pronounced Soulje. Did radio. When I was working for Finkel back in the, a million years ago, we did a radio station out in Rapid City, South Dakota, KOTA Radio, which is like their, what's the AA and AOA type format, full service. Anyway, lady out there said that Soulje translated to sunshine in French.
It sure does. I just looked it up.
Come on.
Really? And there's an old French word, shoe, meaning shoe, an occupation for a shoemaker, but the French name meaning the sun.
Well, it's like
Latin word derivative, solarium.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, sunshine, let's talk weather.
There we go.
Brought to you by
Beautiful transition.
Kramer Siding and Window.
Your premier provider. Home improvements, and they've been around for 70 years. If you're looking for some home improvements, maybe talk it over this weekend on energy efficiency to replace those drafty windows. KramerSiding.com.
All right, sir, your floor. What's happening?
Well, we have a morning underway on the cusp of some high and mid-level clouds from some decaying showers and thunderstorms. Hope these things fade away. I think we may get them to about the I-55 corridor, maybe a little east of there, and then just maybe a sprinkle to our north and northwest. But they are on the move out of southern Wisconsin, northwest Illinois, down into northeastern Missouri. Some bigger storms on the overnight hours, clocking areas around Des Moines to Mason City. But again, all that rough stuff for now stays to the north and northeast of us, and we'll be in relatively good shape and in otherwise partly sunny days worth of weather. That's probably the vanguard of what plays out next week, and a lot of violent weather in the northern plains, upper Midwest, and western Corn Belt next week on the western flank of the hot ridge. We are out the door this morning at 74. Well, in Savoy, forecast high for the day today is a manageable high. About 86 under a partly sunny sky. Again, maybe a stray shower out northwest towards the I-55 corridor this morning. Summertime, 9:42 this evening. It'll feel it on in the overnight at 71. It's heat and humidity building in for the weekend at 93 tomorrow, 95 Sunday. Heat indices up past 100. Muggy overnight lows with the high dew points in the 70s, up to 96 Monday, 97 Tuesday. Tough days as well. Then a little bit better, but still high humidity. But we get rain in the forecast, at least roll the dice of Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, with highs again a little north of 90 degrees. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm Beatlicious Greg Solier.
Here's another home improvement insight from Kramer Siding and Window, a proud member of Prairie Home Alliance. A new front door can instantly upgrade the look of your home and make it more energy efficient. The Kramer Siding and Window team can also install French doors to your deck or patio, welcoming the outside in, or storm doors for an extra layer of protection against the elements. The estimate is free, financing is available, and the business is local. Schedule your beautiful new door today and save 25%. Call us, click on kramersiding.com, or visit the showroom in Champaign.
Here's the deal. When you combine State Farm home and auto insurance, you save an average of $889. State Farm agent Kurt Lenschow is ready to help you combine home and auto and save right here in Champaign-Urbana. Call 352-1411 today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Average annual per household savings based on a 2019 national survey by State Farm of new policyholders who reported savings by switching to State Farm.
Norm Miller here, chairman of Interstate Batteries. You know, without batteries, life would be pretty lifeless. That's why Interstate All Battery Centers carry them in every size, shape, and style so you can drive, drill, call, film, or do whatever it is you want to do. Stop in today. They've got the power to keep you going. Interstate All Battery Center. Outrageously dependable.
Interstate All Battery Center. You'll find them outrageously dependable just over Interstate 74 at 2504 North Mattis Avenue in Champaign, with batteries for most every application in stock.
You have money laying all around your house. You just don't know it. And no, I don't mean selling your great-grandma's good china. I mean all the old metal items you don't want to use or get rid of. Don't pay someone to haul it away. Bring it into Max Twin City Recycling and get paid to have it taken off your hands. They love new customers and are more than willing to walk you through their process step by step. Come check them out at 2808 North Lincoln Avenue in Urbana.
Starting it over is what we do at Max Twin City Recycling.
This is Starla Carr with Provident Financial Group. There's no one-size-fits-all retirement plan. Finding the right plan for you depends on many factors. The good news is we can help you improve your retirement readiness, whatever your situation. Contact us today at 217-366-3456 or find us online at providentfinancialgroupllc.com.
Securities and advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network. Member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
All right, it's 8:13. I am Stevie J, and we get your Redbird recap here. It wasn't pretty, but the Cardinals did sweep the White Sox. You play the White Sox of Colorado, the pressure is enormous that you really got to beat those teams. There's about the two worst teams in baseball, the Colorado Rockies, the Chicago White Sox. Cardinals got it done in a doubleheader. I'll give you the recap here in just a second. We have hot, and you're what are you gonna do? Just hope and pray that AC keeps working. But when it goes down, you're calling somebody, and we have a whole bunch of HVAC friends like ABC Heating and Air Conditioning, Lance Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, Fred's. I mean, they're you know what? I'm sure glad I'm not at the phones this weekend, because when things are taxed and they're not kept up, you know, all the stuff, the checkups and stuff, woo! And then you're calling and it's this hot. And you gotta deal with that. You gotta be very careful that you stay hydrated and all that stuff, and check in on your older friends, make sure they're good, because it's gonna be oppressive. We haven't had this kind of a thing for a while, and it's gonna be this way for almost a week at least. So you know how to do it, just like the winter. I always say you know how to do it. All right, 8:14, ESPN 93.5. Here is the recap. The Cardinals did get 2. Now they're tied 5.5 back of the mighty Chicago Cubs in the National League Central.
With Ricky Horton, I'm John Rooney, and yesterday on the south side of Chicago, the Cardinals had to come from behind to win 5-4 in the opener. They had a 3-run 8th inning, and Wilson Contreras hit a big home run. And then in the nightcap, after the White Sox fought with a 5-run 7th inning to tie it at 6, the Cardinals won it with 2 runs in the 10th, and Nootbaar capped off the day with a home run, 8-6 the final.
Also, Nolan Arenado was able to contribute his 350th big league home run. He had a great day, a 3-hit day, including a single in that last inning.
Sometimes you have to win ugly, Ricky. A couple of runners picked off for the Cardinals on the bases. The bullpen wasn't quite as sharp, but the Cardinals swept the 3-game series.
Certainly an ugly game, but the Cardinals will live with it as they swept the White Sox.
So the Cardinals come back home to play the Reds tonight, a 6:15 game. Andre Palante 4-3 against Brady Singer 7-4. We'll be on the air at 5:20, and Ricky will have the lineups at 6:05.
Is your home showing symptoms of foundation issues? Your home's wet basement, dingy crawl space, musty smells, cracked walls, or unlevel concrete shouldn't be ignored. Helitech can help. Life happens in your home. You and your family deserve the best. Helitech offers proven solutions in waterproofing, drainage, concrete leveling, and foundation repair services. Contact us for a free inspection at helitechonline.com.
When the water's high, we'll keep your basement dry. Heal your home with Helitech.
Yeah, how about Game 7 in the NBA? How about that? The Indiana Pacers beat the Oklahoma City Thunder, and now it's Game 7 back in Oklahoma City. I would think they'd be heavily favored at home, but boy, I tell you what, can the Pacers pull this one off? They're going to have some pretty special performances, but lay it on the line, man. I think it's Sunday night, final game. Here we go. NBA will finally be over until they start again in about 3 months. By the way, 41 days until campus starts coming back. We love our campus. We love our University of Illinois. We shall never take it for granted. We have 50,000 students, both online and in person, here at the campus at Urbana-Champaign. And we're thankful they're here. They had a lot of diversity, obviously. And we love our university. We may not agree all the time politically, but we love our university. Baseball, Cubs did fall short. Milwaukee had an 8-3 lead in the 7th. Those Cubs just how many times have the Chicago Cubs been blown out of a baseball game this year? Maybe count them on one hand. 8-3, they come all the way back, lose 8-7. Cubs are real, man. Cubs are real. They're heard on US 105.9. So we'll continue the weekend. I know the Cardinals will host Cincinnati, who's battling there for positioning. They're just behind Milwaukee and the Cubs, maybe a game. The Reds have won 8 out of their last 11, something like that, 9 out of 12. They've been playing pretty good baseball. All right, 8:17. We'll check your weather again with our meteorologist, Greg Solier, and we still got a good 40 minutes left. You're always welcome on the text line, 217-359-2255 on the Fisher National Bank text line.
Get the roof your home deserves by Roof Doctors, your residential roofing specialist that has always offered the best warranties in the industry, like our non-prorated 50-year warranty. Our customers love that we are family-owned and locally operated. We make our customer needs our top priority. With over 30 years experience and the best customer service, give Roof Doctors a call today for your free estimate at 328-7529. In your community and for your community, Roof Doctors.
From plumbing warriors to air conditioning conquerors, Classic Plumbing and Air is here to help your home feel better than ever. Whether it's a quick fix or a full system upgrade, they'll show up with the tools, the tech, and the tenacity to get the job done right. Locally owned and operated, they deliver plumbing, cooling, and comfort. Call 217-586-7473 or visit classicplum.com. Classic Plumbing and Air, plumbing, cooling, and comfort. Visit them at classicplum.com.
Want unbeatable prices on your next furniture purchase, but also seeking that local hometown feel? Look no further than Kelsey Furniture in Tuscola. Customers rave about their friendly, established staff, as well as their great selection, amazing prices, and second-to-none delivery service. They're a third-generation local business, and they've always got your best interests at heart. Find the look you love for less. Open 9 to 5 Monday through Saturday, but always available online at kelseyfurniture.com. That's kelseyfurniture.com.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for Eastern Florida, Champaign-Urbana vicinity. Enjoy today. The heat side into the front part of the weekend. The back end of the weekend through about Wednesday next week. It's a good old-fashioned heat wave weather pattern. Mid-90s by day, even a few upper 90s Monday and Tuesday. Peak and index values of 104, 108, perhaps even past 110 with a copious amounts of humidity. But the second half of next week, rain's back in the forecast. Partly cloudy and warm for the day-to-day. Will top out around 86 and a south-southwesterly breeze. Tonight, warm, more humid as the night wears on. Fair and 71 will clock into summertime. 9:42 in the evening. Tomorrow, breezy, hot, humid, sunshine at 93. 95 Sunday. 96 Monday. 97 Tuesday. We'll be in the low to mid-90s Wednesday through Friday next week. And each day, a couple of clusters of showers and thunderstorms. Late night to early morning and late afternoon, early evening. So increasing rainfall prospects as the heat eases, but the humidity stays high the second half of next week. For Stephen J. Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solier.
I'm Stuart Varney, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Fed Governor Christopher Waller says in an interview this morning the Fed could cut interest rates as early as July. Waller says not all of the tariff increases will be passed through, and he doesn't see tariffs causing persistent inflation. Economists were expecting manufacturing in the Philly area to cool this month. The Philly Fed's business index for June came in with a reading of -4, weaker than expected. The report suggests inflation in manufacturing is cooling. Prices paid declined. Kroger's sales rose in the recent quarter. The grocery chain is raising its sales forecast. It's seeing robust demand for groceries, even though its shoppers are still dealing with high inflation. CarMax shares up about 10% after an upbeat quarter. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Coselda, invested in you.
I'm Benjamin Hall, Fox News senior correspondent and New York Times best-selling author, and I'm searching for heroes. Every Monday, I'll speak with a few silent but noteworthy heroes, everyday people who illuminate stories of compassion and are true embodiments of heroism. Make sure you subscribe to my podcast, Searching for Heroes with Benjamin Hall, wherever you download podcasts, and please leave a rating and a review.
Wedding season's in full swing, as you know. Before you say I do, I'm sure you've talked about financial stuff. I'm sure you have. But if you haven't, you probably need to talk about it. Before you merge money, sit down and talk about what you think. Make a list of individual assets and loans and, of course, debt. Discuss earnings and additional sources of income, budgeting and bank accounts. Busey really is all over this. I'll give you a website here in a second if you want to take a peek at what they got. Agree on a system of budgeting and paying bills. Make a list of short and long-term financial goals and resolve outstanding credit and debt issues. When you're just starting out, Busey can provide an array of solutions tailored to your specific needs. No matter your stage in life, Busey will be there along the way. Just go to Busey.com. You can stop by one of their many convenient locations for solutions to your personal, business, and wealth management needs. Busey for over 150 years. Member FDIC.
At Christie Clinic, our commitment is for the care of our community. That commitment includes keeping care local, where our patients, their families, our clinics, and their hospital of choice are located. Our providers live and work here. It's their passion to care for their families and neighbors. Thank you for choosing Christie Clinic, your hometown provider. When you do, you support the health and well-being of your community.
Make an appointment today at ChristieClinic.com and click on online scheduling. Take care of yourself and put your health first.
I haven't heard a lot of people talking about what happened after Donald Trump won on November 5th. I haven't heard about what the Energy Department did under Joe Biden in the waning days. But they essentially loaned out $93 billion, more than they'd done in the last 15 years of loans. John Kennedy, senator from Louisiana, talking about this issue that you may not have heard about.
Mr. Secretary, I want to go back to some of your earlier testimony and be sure I heard it correctly. The 76-day period you're talking about, that's the period between the time that President Trump was elected and President Biden left office. Is that right?
That is correct.
And during that short period of time, 76 days, how much taxpayer money went out the door of the Department of Energy?
From the Loan Program Office in loans and commitments, $93 billion. Well over twice as much as in the previous 15 years. So,
how do you vet and do due diligence on a loan in 76 days? One loan, much less $93 billion. How do you do it?
I think it's probably pretty clear it wasn't done in many cases. As I mentioned, I'm told I'm holding back clearly in place stuff. There is lots of funds that have gone out the door and commitments that were made from businesses that provided no business plan, no numbers about their own financial solvency or how this project
So you're telling
work.
me that the Department of Energy, in the 76-day period, before their boss was going to leave office, gave or loaned money to entities that had no business plan?
Correct.
No financials?
Correct. A number of those were were before the 76-day period as well.
It's happening before. I mean, can you believe that? I guess you can. But who got the money? And can I get it back? Or can I at least go get some paperwork? And probably too big. Probably can't do it. $93 billion. And nobody is talking about it. And how about this guy that ICE picked up, convicted murderer, and twice convicted of attempted murder, gang guy. So the Biden-era policy allowed him to live in America. ICE picked him up, and he was actually mad. Wait a minute, I made the deal. He's a murderer, convicted, living amongst us. That was on the news. You might have seen that. It is the lack of common sense, the lack of... It's just hard to believe some of the issues we have before us. All right, Donald Trump, if you missed it, breaking overnight, essentially said 2 more weeks. The Iranians are interested in talking now that they've got very little left to defend themselves with. And the other question is, will Benjamin Netanyahu of Israel even accept anything? They know they've got the backs against the wall with Iran and what to do next. They want to eliminate the nuclear program. That's kind of the goal. The goal for Israel is not regime change. They need to take out the capabilities of enriching the centrifuges so they can make a bomb. And my understanding is once you get a nuclear warhead, you can get 10 really fast. It's the first one, first olive out of the jar, so to speak. So they are on the precipice of historic changes, perhaps. If you get rid of their nuclear capabilities, essentially for nuclear energy, you need 2%. They're running along about 92%. They've got plenty for energy is what they claim. So, again, it's how would you like the world with Iran holding a number of nuclear bombs? You just wouldn't trust it, I wouldn't think. Of course you wouldn't. Anyway, that's news. So maybe 2 more weeks of waiting and seeing, but again, Israel's their own country. They've been executing this whole thing amazingly. I mean, the Mossad, they're guys that get stuff done, infiltrating, flipping people to give them information. They're unbelievable. And so what do they need us for? Maybe the bunker busters that we have trained pilots, been working their whole career, figuring out how to hit a bomb and then hit the next bomb right in the same hole because they're going to go so deep. And get rid of the capabilities, or at least set them back for decades in Iran. So those are the basic hottest headlines this morning. All right, going to come back. Another half hour of the program. I am Stevie J, ESPN 93.5. It is 8:29.
Hey Illini fans, it's Luke Altmaier here, starting quarterback for your Fighting Illini football team.
Get to him, he's going to run right, he's in! Touchdown! Touchdown, Illinois! Luke Altmaier! What a throw by Altmaier!
Altmaier's big time.
We invite you to be a part of the action this year at Memorial Stadium. After a 10-win season and a Citrus Bowl victory, get your season tickets now for 2025 and make this season unforgettable.
This is XYZ Insurance. How can I help?
I have a question about my home policy.
Okay, question about phone policy.
Home policy.
Okay, gnome policy.
HOME, home.
Technology is great, but sometimes it's better to talk with a real person. With Erie Insurance, you have a caring, independent agent who's with you from beginning to end.
We don't have any HOMEs on record.
Your Erie agent in Champaign is Thomas & Ellers Insurance. Go to erieinsurance.com for company licensure and product details.
Drive in, drive out. Recycling's what Max is all about. You can make some cash and do your share. We make it really simple because we care. It doesn't matter large or small. Our friendly staff will handle it all. Starting it over is what we do at Max Twin City Recycling.
PDR Automotive has now been serving the Champaign-Urbana area for over 50 years. To give you some perspective, 50 years ago ended the U.S. involvement in the Vietnam War, and it was when Secretariat won the Triple Crown. So what does that mean for you and your vehicle? Whether you need a carburetor overhauled or your new vehicle computer system diagnosed or programmed, PDR Automotive has the experienced, knowledgeable staff that can handle all your automotive needs. Online at pdrauto.com, they are what's best for your truck or car. They are PDR.
Fox News. I'm Chris Foster. President Trump can keep control of California National Guard troops.
A U.S. District Court judge ruled that the president overstepped his legal authority by sending Guard troops to L.A., but a 3-judge appeals court panel overturned that ruling, saying it is likely that the president lawfully exercised his statutory authority in federalizing control of the Guard.
Fox's Jill Nato in D.C. Israel's military reports strikes on dozens of military targets in Iran as missiles come back the other way. Fox's Mike Tobin in Tel Aviv.
Once again, southern Israel took a hit in the town of Beersheba, very near an apartment and an industrial complex, causing fire and damage. No reports of injuries. There are reports that this single missile made its way through the air defenses because one of the interceptors malfunctioned.
Beersheba is where a hospital took a direct hit from a missile yesterday. America's listening to Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. Well, a man in custody. It follows a long-hour standoff in Urbana. Police attempting to serve the arrest warrant Tuesday for an aggravated robbery in the 200 block of South Lynn Street. Jilquan Robertson fled into a third-floor apartment. Once inside, he made threats of violence toward officers. SWAT called. He was eventually peacefully arrested. National Weather Service office in Lincoln sent out 2 storm survey teams. On Thursday, strong storms moved into the state from the west and southwest Wednesday. They included Jacksonville as well as Farmers City. Several locations they had to survey, results not yet available. Illinois Department of Public Health confirming West Nile virus has been found in mosquito samples in 17 counties this year in Illinois. No human cases of the virus reported in the state so far this year. Last year, there were 69 confirmed human cases of West Nile, including 13 deaths, the highest since 17 deaths recorded in 2018. You're locally up to date from the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for East Central Illinois, Champaign-Urbana. Visited a good old-fashioned heat wave weather pattern getting cranked up over the weekend. Lasts the better part of next week, but the toughest of weather conditions between Sunday and Tuesday. But we'll weaken that hot high, drawing Gulf moisture, Pacific moisture from a remnant hurricane down there. And there'll be a fair amount of opportunities to generate some additional rainfall the middle and late portions of next week. Yeah, getting a little more bearish on this real tough drought weather pattern going forward, at least into early to mid-summertime. Partly cloudy, warm for the day today at 86 and a south-southwesterly breeze. Summertime, 9:42 this evening. Clocks on in. Warm, more humid, fair and 71 for the weekend. Breezy, hot, humid, sunshine, and 93 tomorrow. High of 95 on Sunday, 96 Monday, 97 Tuesday. Peak index values of 104 to 109. A couple of thunderstorms break out Wednesday, more so into Thursday and Friday next week with highs north of 90. For Stephen J. Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solgay.
Yeah, so what is the plan if your AC breaks down over the next 5 or 6 days? I'd have the number ready.
Yep.
You got Land's Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. You got ABC Heating, Air Conditioning. You got Fred's.
Yes.
So I just might get the numbers because it's going to be a race to see who can get the guys.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And kudos to them for choosing that sort of job when you're crawling around crawl spaces and attics when it's so warm
and then if
to
it's,
figure it out.
If it's not on, it's a crisis. Particularly if you're an old person. More of a crisis.
That's right. Be checking up on the elderly on your radar, people in your neighborhoods, thinking of your pets too, not so long outside.
I mean, hundreds of people's unit will break down. It can happen to all of us.
Yeah.
So I'm just suggesting that you have
a plan.
Those guys are going to be working long hours. It always happens. And they are ready because they know it's going to happen. It always does when it gets to this extreme heat. So be alert and be perhaps somebody with a plan. I'd mentioned earlier, if you missed the beginning of the show, that Long Branch Steakhouse with Donnie Curtis had a unexpected visit from actor John Goodman, actor Bryan Cranston, actor Judy Greer, and actor Sean
Astin,
who I think is the biggest star.
He could be.
Sean Astin. How many? I'm sure it's billions now for Lord of the Rings.
That's right.
He was my Sam.
That's right.
Oh, my Sam.
Sam was such a good
Frodo
Baggins' best friend.
Yeah. I mean, he was protecting him from Gollum. We're deep into Lord of the Rings in our family. Deep. J.R.
When you were
Tolkien.
talking about Donnie and Hunter posing with some of these big-time celebrities who were in town shooting the movie Chili Finger, and various scenes we'll notice around Champaign County when we see that. But also, you were suggesting people call in when they had a brush with greatness. At 359-2255, I saw Martha Stewart at St. Louis's Art Museum.
Well, what about Champaign-Urbana?
Right.
Your Champaign-Urbana, I mean, because we have for the U of I, a lot of big-time people come in and out. There's no doubt.
I guess, she was given a private tour of the museum, of course, and had 6 private security guards around her
Martha
that looked like
Stewart
they were
did?
ready to tackle anyone who got close to her. So
Martha Stewart had 6 bodyguards?
I mean...
Okay. Whatever you think.
Right.
You're paying for it, so if you want to do that.
There were a lot of people, celebrity-wise, at that Michael Jackson concert in New York City on September 10th, 2001. It was just so fun to do the star-studded look around in the audience and see who was there. Same for the Tina Turner show up in Chicago. Tom Cruise and his kids. I think in that chapter he was married to Katie Holmes, Oprah Winfrey. And they must have bought like the row in front and behind them. I was thinking of the concert, if you were to go to a concert and you were a big-time celebrity like Oprah, I mean...
But they all have to have some security, I would think.
I would think, but they're probably in the rows around you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. You
Your
have to get them seats,
and
right,
your staff
right.
and everything.
And you want to be incognito kind of thing.
Right.
Anyway, it was cool for Donnie at Long Branch and Bryan Cranston from, among other things, Breaking Bad. That his chiropractor in L.A. said, if you ever get near Gifford, you got to go to Long Branch.
Nice.
So he had to be from here.
That's right.
So anyway, cool and cool pictures and cool moments. They stayed an hour and a half plus. And they said to Donnie, some of the best steak we've ever had.
Man.
So if you want to go have dinner, boom, go where John Goodman goes. Yeah. Go where Rudy goes. Oh, that's another great movie, Rudy. You never seen Rudy?
I have not.
Oh, it is unbelievable.
I know. And it's
just
kind of like the story of Johnny when he was like on the practice squad for the Illini and got into a few games.
Yeah, got into one game. Rudy got into one game. Johnny got into one game.
Exactly.
Rudy made a play. Johnny made a play.
That's right.
Very apparent. I had them both on the phone 20 years ago.
Okay.
Rudy Rudiger, the real guy, had a book.
With the Notre Dame fandom that he grew up with in the town, right?
No, it's just a Cinderella story. But Rudy, Sean Astin starred in Rudy. And if you've not rented or seen that, it is so worth the watch.
Okay.
It's in my top 10 of all time.
Okay.
That's just my kind of movie.
And it's the same with Hoosiers. I don't know why I haven't seen
Love
that.
Hoosiers. You haven't seen Hoosiers. Wow.
And I'm a big
And
Gene
you've never
Hackman
seen,
fan.
let me guess here, you've never seen It's a Wonderful Life.
I have seen that
Okay.
numerous times.
You've seen The Wizard of Oz.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. All right, just checking some of your standards.
I know.
But I would call those, they're sports movies. I mean, Field of Dreams.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think Remember the Titans is an awfully good movie.
I have seen that with Denzel Washington.
Well, now that we know Soleil means sunshine in French, we can say to our weatherman, sunshine, like they did in that movie, teasing that one quarterback they called Sunshine. All right, 217-359-2255. You want to chime in on the Fisher National Bank text line? We'll be right back. Sarah Champagne's Ben Quattrone on keeping his employees.
It's got to be the place to work. We have to pay the best. We have to treat people the best. Some of the guys wanted to order pizza the other day. Well, we bought 30 Papa Del's pizzas. BMW had the best month they've ever had. They said, can we have a cookout? Saturday, I cooked like 50 ribeye steaks. And they were expecting like cheese, burgers and hot dogs and stuff. Like, if I'm eating steak, you're eating steak. We both eat steak, we both eat hamburger.
Learn more at sarahchampagne.com. The sounds of spring and the smell of flowers in the air, they all add up to Spring Green, America's neighborhood lawn care team. They become your favorite through quality service and professionalism. Spring Green will service and maintain your lawnscape with seeding, aeration, fertilizing, disease, and insect control. Over 32 years of satisfied customers reflect their commitment to Champaign-Urbana and the Mattoon Charleston area. Call Spring Green at 217-359-2111 or online at spring-green.com.
Urbana's Market at the Square has been cultivating a vibrant scene in CU since 1979. Get to know your farmers bringing locally harvested honey, crafts, jewelry, art, fresh cut flowers, plus produce including fresh leafy greens and root vegetables, fresh baked treats, and a wide selection of proteins. Going on now, every Saturday, 7 a.m. till noon, rain or shine at Illinois and Vine, it's Urbana Market at the Square. Find Urbana Market on Facebook or urbanamarket.org.
Get the roof your home deserves by Roof Doctors, your residential roofing specialist that has always offered the best warranties in the industry, like our non-prorated 50-year warranty. Our customers love that we are family-owned and locally operated. We make our customer needs our top priority. With over 30 years experience and the best customer service, give Roof Doctors a call today for your free estimate at 328-7529. In your community and for your community, Roof Doctors.
Yeah. Check your sports headlines, Diane.
Well, a good round of baseball yesterday with a doubleheader for our St. Louis Cardinals here on ESPN 93.5, setting up a series against Cincinnati with a 6:15 start tonight. Let's get more details.
With Ricky Horton, I'm John Rooney, and yesterday on the south side of Chicago, the Cardinals had to come from behind to win 5-4 in the opener. They had a 3-run eighth inning, and Wilson Contreras hit a big home run. And then in the nightcap, after the White Sox fought with a 5-run seventh inning to tie it at 6, the Cardinals won it with 2 runs in the 10th, and Nootbaar capped off the day with a home run, 8-6 the final.
Also, Nolan Arenado was able to contribute his 350th big league home run. He had a great day, a 3-hit day, including a single in that last inning.
Sometimes you have to win ugly, Ricky. A couple of runners picked off for the Cardinals on the bases. The bullpen wasn't quite as sharp, but the Cardinals swept the 3-game series.
Certainly an ugly game, but the Cardinals will live with it as they swept the White Sox.
So the Cardinals come back home to play the Reds tonight, a 6:15 game. Andre Palante 4-3 against Brady Singer 7-4. We'll be on the air at 5:20, and Ricky will have the lineups at 6:05.
Cubbies came almost all the way back, down 8-3 in the 7th. They lost 8-7.
Yes, that's right.
Milwaukee.
Setting up a series against Seattle now at Wrigley, and that's a 1:20 start. I know today and tomorrow that's the case, so 12:45 for Pat Hughes and Ron Coomer to get on and tell us all about the Cubbies, which are doing so well. I want to say Pete
Crow Armstrong.
Thank you, PCA.
Yeah. Pete Crow Armstrong the question is he going to be the most valuable player in the National League. I mean, or do you beat Shohei Ohtani?
Right.
I mean, Pete Crow Armstrong has 19 home runs. Shohei has 25.
I think it's 20 now.
He hit his 20. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
So I would say Pete Crow Armstrong is right there at the top. He's 12-1 to win the MVP of the National League. You got to be kidding.
Yep.
Isn't he a rookie? He got in last year. Did he play in? He's the slam dunk rookie of the year. Anyway, at 23 years old, is he that good? Next year we'll tell the story because everybody will examine his weakness. He doesn't get any walks, so he's a free swinger. And they'll have it absolutely figured out. And if he adjusts the next year, he'll be the real deal.
Let's go. Golden State beat the Indiana Fever 88-77. You know, Caitlin has been trending this week. It just feels like she's taken a beating.
There's a teammate of hers, is it Sue Cunningham? Anyway, she took down on a layup somebody really hard that is the one that bumped Caitlin. A little payback. She got
backstory on the
kicked out of the
Connecticut Suns game. Okay.
Her teammate got kicked out of the game. She's gained 540,000 people on her social media.
Wow.
And all of her jerseys are sold out.
Oh, really?
Because she stood up for the teammate, Caitlin Clark, who has changed the WNBA into something actually people watch.
But yet we still see the Mean Girls scenario panning out. NBA Finals Game 7 coming our way Sunday night at 7 with it now tied up at 3 apiece. Indiana Pacers beat the Oklahoma City Thunder 108-91 last night. In fact, Tyrese Halliburton, we thought with that strained right calf that he might not get the 14 points that he ended up pulling out. Talk about resilient. And we have another Illini addition for the class of 2026. A 4-star Bellevue West defensive back, Nick Hankins.
I think I saw that video.
Uh-huh.
And I think Brett called him at the announcement and he said, "Yeah, I'm watching my kids dance. And I thought I'd poke out here and just see what you're thinking." Brett's talking. And then he goes, "Yeah." And he said, "You ready to make it formal?" "Yeah, I do. I want to go to the Illini. ILL.
Okay.
ILL fam." Anyway, so and then the crowd went crazy and he had his Illinois shirt on, but he's a 4-star kid. Wow.
Uh-huh.
That's usually Ohio State, Michigan get all the 4s and 5s, but not anymore.
This is quite a class we're developing and a lot of commitments this week for the class of 2026. So go Illini. What is it? Friday, August 29th at 7:30,
Yep,
Western Illinois.
Let's go. Kick it off here in 60-some days.
Unbelievable.
All right, so to the WNBA. Ladies, thank you for coming. You're beautiful, you're talented, you're amazing. So let's just get right to it. They're not coming to watch you. Okay, I got it out there. Okay, you have somebody comparable to a Michael Jordan relative to your league. She will bring a lot of dollars because more eyeballs want to watch together her. I know it's so disappointing it's not you, but stay with me here. You're making $75,000 a year. That's not bad. I mean, you're all going to be 6 figures if you're patient, all of you, and some of you multimillionaires. Let her play.
Yes.
Let her do her thing and secretly be happy she's selling out arenas. I can't explain it, but it's amazing. She's shooting out there 30 feet away, making shots. She can score 3 baskets in 40 seconds. She's done it this week.
Mm-hmm.
So, women, ladies, wonderful people, let her play.
Take a deep breath.
And just
of course, be competitive and all that, but not over the top.
Is it hard to accept that it isn't you? And I'm sorry, but the good news is you have somebody that's really good and going to draw. Whether you think she's deserved, don't shove her down.
Hop on the gravy train, ladies. Let's go for the WNBA.
We're all gonna make money. Ladies, can you not put aside the jealousy?
Exactly.
And accept that Caitlin Clark is your new star?
Yes.
Okay, morning
Thank you
therapy.
for that here on ESPN 93.5.
Enjoy free yoga at Urbana Park District's Meadowbrook Park each Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m. No experience needed. All are welcome.
Bring comfortable clothes and your yoga mat or a towel. Instructors can modify the exercises to your experience level. Yoga is a great way to exercise and refresh the mind and soul. Make new friends or bring friends. Saturday mornings from 9 to 10 at Meadowbrook Park. Learn more at urbanaparks.org.
What is most important to you in your life? This is Eric Boland with Provident Financial Group. Whether you're launching a career, raising a family, planning for retirement, or creating a legacy, we can help. At Provident, we provide strategic thinking and perspective that help clients like you realize their goals. Contact us today at 217-366-3456 or find us online at providentfinancialgroupllc.com.
Securities and advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network. Member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
Sarah Champagne managing partner Ben Quattrone on why integrity is important at Sarah.
We hire the person. The person makes the deal. The person makes the department. The person makes everyone around them treat people with courtesy and respect. If you have a quality human being, you can play any position, right? We're talking about sports. They can perform in any department, and I could teach someone a job, but I can't teach them to be a good person.
Learn more at sarahchampagne.com. That's SERRA champagne.com. And I mentioned last week we sat with Ben Quattrone and Terrence Shannon, who's working out with Fletch over at the U of I basketball facility.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, he's and so is Marcus Damask.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's here working.
Good.
But Ben gets the calls because Marcus called him from, something happened to his car. Marcus Damask, for most of the year, when he was so good, and we went to the Elite Eight, most of the year, Marcus Damask had a car that wouldn't start. He was not driving anything. His car wouldn't start. Okay. It's worth like $1.50. Wow. And toward the end of the year, he got something a little better for the final month or so. But anyway, he's a terrific guy. I mean, nothing but great about Marcus. But anyway, he's in there, and Fletch is a guy that I think works out with him kind of too, and then have competitions and stuff. And if you've ever seen the guy, he's a great guy. Big, tall drink of water. They're all tall over there.
Of course.
You walk around and you go, wait a minute, you look short on TV. It's just like, how many people say that to them? They're like 6'4" and they look really short. The NBA guys are 6'5", the little guys. And they're looking around going, well, I'm 6'5". No, you're itty-bitty out here. The coaches, too. Coaches generally are dwarfed, and you see a coach and go, man, he's 6'2". It's amazing evolution of the American adult, really.
Absolutely.
I feel I could have dominated the NBA in about 1931.
What is it? The vitamin D in the milk when the kids were little, or what is it?
Nutrition, evolution, taller people marry taller people.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're 6'11" and you marry somebody 6'4", guess what?
You're going to have some big kids.
Your kindergarten picture is going to have your child really standing out.
Well, again, everyone, let's check weather. For East Central Illinois, Champaign, and Bentonville, today, good old-fashioned heat wave weather pattern getting cranked up over the weekend. Lasts the better part of next week, but the toughest of weather conditions between Sunday and Tuesday. But we'll weekend that hot high, drawing Gulf moisture, Pacific moisture from a remnant hurricane down there. And there'll be a fair amount of opportunities to generate some additional rainfall in the middle and late portions of next week. Yeah, getting a little more bearish on this real tough drought weather pattern going forward, at least into early to mid-summertime. Partly cloudy, warm for the day today at 86 and a south-southwesterly breeze. Summertime, 9:42 this evening. Clocks on in. Warm, more humid, fair, and 71 for the weekend. Breezy, hot, humid, sunshine, and 93 tomorrow. High of 95 on Sunday, 96 Monday, 97 Tuesday. Peak index values of 104 to 109. A couple of thunderstorms break out Wednesday, more so into Thursday and Friday next week with highs north of 90. For CVJ Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solier.
Jesse with Land's Drain Cleaning. Do you have your sewer line cleaned every year? Are you constantly getting roots or blockages? Why deal with that headache year after year? Call Land's Drain Cleaning today at 217-355-5512 to have our expert staff come out, clean your line. We give you a free camera inspection, show you what's wrong, where it's at, and then we can offer you a repair for that problem so you don't have to deal with it again. Land's Drain Cleaning. Why call anyone else?
All right, I'm going to play an unbelievable clip I played from Elon Musk about an hour ago. If you missed this, I had no idea he was working on this, but it's just so exciting.
6 to 12 months, we'll be doing our first implants for vision, where even if somebody's completely blind,
we can write directly to the visual cortex, and we've had that working in monkeys. Actually, I think one of our monkeys now has had a visual implant for 3 years, and at first it'll be fairly low resolution, but long term you would have very high resolution and be able to see in multispectral wavelengths. So you could see an infrared, ultraviolet, radar. It's like a superpower situation. But like at some point, the cybernetic implants would not simply be correcting things that went wrong, but augmenting human capabilities dramatically.
Unbelievable. You're telling me vision, and then you're thinking, well, why not some hearing?
Right.
I can you imagine life in 20 years if everything is exponential and compounds itself? How fast we're going on some of this stuff. We have no idea what exactly AI can do. I think we're learning that some people are really kind of know, kind of like the internet. How does this work? It's kind of like there are AI people that are like way ahead of us, like the internet thing.
Yes.
I just can't imagine in application all the potential.
It's quite a tool,
telling me
that's for
that
sure.
People that have had seeing eye dogs may not have to have that anymore.
Man.
Can you turn your seeing eye dog into your pet? Yes. Unreal. It's unreal.
Okay.
That's Elon Musk. I had no idea he was working on the implants, and they had it in monkeys for 3 years. And how do they know what the monkeys see if they stay in low resolution? I have no idea.
Right.
Monkeys are pretty smart, though.
Yeah, they are.
All right, we are out of here and back Monday, God willing. Please stay nice and cool and think cool thoughts.
That's right. Motor Muster tomorrow at Cunningham Children's Home. Stop by between 10 and 2 and say hello. I always have prizes in my pocket. Enjoy your weekend.
And Healthy Living Spa Expo.
Out at Carl at the Fields.
At the Fields, and that's going on today, tomorrow, Sunday. You want to get a great deal on a hot tub. All right, Diane, thank you.
Have a great weekend.
That's Diane Ducey, and happy birthday to Mike Anderson.
Thank you.
Awesome, great guy. I am Stevie J. Thank you for listening. Meet you Monday. Have a blessed weekend.
Coldwell Banker Real Estate Group's Diana Foltz, recent recipient of Champaign County's Realtor of the Year.
Diana, how do you know you've been successful?
I know that when we are invited to personal events in their lives, first birthday parties, weddings, gatherings, we know that we've been more than just their realtor. We know that we've made these relationships deep and that it goes beyond just the sale of the house. And it speaks a lot to what we want, which is to serve our clients and to, be more friends than just a realtor.
Why do you like what you do?
I really enjoy helping either a buyer or seller to get to the next chapter. And they're relying on Reggie and I to help them achieve their next goal.
You're their realtor.
We're their realtor. It's Taylor Foltz team, Coldwell Banker Real Estate Group. You can find me on the internet at dianafoltz.com. Cell phone number is 217-840-4133. And my email is diana@dianafoltz.com.
Hey, baseball fans, step up to the plate like a pro with the world's largest sports book at your fingertips. Circa Sports Illinois. It's sports betting the way it should be. With high app limits, low holds, exceptional customer service, and more. Whether you're betting with the home team or scouting the next big matchup, take your swing with the Circa Sports app. Start betting like a pro from anywhere, anytime in Illinois. Download your new bookie today at circasports.com.
When you make the right decision, it feels good, like picking the perfect accent rug or choosing a good night's sleep over an all-night crime show binge. It feels really good to make the right insurance decision, too. That's why State Farm agent Kurt Lenschow is right here in Champaign-Urbana to help you select the right protection at the right price. Kurt will make sure you understand your State Farm coverages so you'll know what to expect if the unexpected happens. Just call him when you want the real deal. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Healthy Living Spas invite you to the 4th Annual Hot Tub Expo this Friday through Sunday at Carl at the Fields in Champaign. 3 days only with unbeatable deals. Save an extra $500 on any hot tub or $1,000 on any swim spa. Special financing available too. Doors open Friday 2 to 7, Saturday 11 to 7, and Sunday noon to 5. The 4th Annual Hot Tub Expo this weekend at Carl at the Fields in Champaign.
Are you or a loved one 65 and older and need to schedule your free annual Medicare wellness visit? An annual Medicare wellness visit allows you and your healthcare provider to establish a personalized prevention plan for your healthcare. Call your Christie Clinic primary care provider to learn more and schedule your free annual Medicare wellness visit. Stay well with Christie Clinic.
Make an appointment today at ChristieClinic.com and click on online scheduling. Take care of yourself and put your health first.
We're back. We have Paul Reekin from Dick Van Dyke Appliance World on the air. Paul, what makes buying an appliance at Dick Van Dyke so special?
Well, Chris, it all starts with our service department. We have an in-house service team that's second to none. And Chris, is that a dog in the back?
Max, keep it down. Have a snack, buddy. Go ahead, Paul.
With our in-house service team, we have our free 10-year protection plan included on most appliance purchases.
Paul, sorry. Let me close the window here.
Should we start over? Or?
Nope, we are on the air.
All right, so with our free protection plan, we also give you a lifetime discount on the service call even after the 10 years runs out.
Hey, cut it out for a second. Sorry, Paul, I have a basement remodel going on. Did you say a service call discount for the life of the appliance? Uninterrupted discounted service?
Uninterrupted discounted service.
For the life of the appliance. Uninterrupted, huh? I like that.
No interruptions. The kind of service that makes Dad say,
wow.
When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
When the storm rolls in, where will you go? Don't wait until it's too late. Protect your family with a custom storm shelter from Berg Septic and Storm Shelter Services. At Berg Tanks, their shelters are fiberglass and plate steel safe rooms that can be installed in your garage or exterior, in ground, or on a concrete pad.